Okay. No one ever says they're enlightened, and no one ever says they're not enlightened. And I think it's a bit of a misleading question. Dogen, who's the kind of Japanese teacher, talks about training and enlightenment being one. So practice is almost like the making real the enlightened state. And the signs of enlightenment are the qualities like tenderness, benevolence, offering, sympathy, selflessness, in other words. That's the signs of enlightenment. It's not the funny look in the eyes and that someone has achieved something. We live in a target-orientated society, so people automatically think there's a goal. And in the Zen tradition, the goal is goallessness. Let all of that go. In Buddhism, there are kind of different approaches to meditation and practice in general. There are Buddhist games, Tibetan Buddhist games, which are a bit like Snakes and Ladders. I think Snakes and Ladders is actually a kind of a board game which has come out of a religious background. So you're down at the bottom here, and you have to get up to there. And there's a whole series of steps that take you up, and there's things which take you down. But there's a whole series of steps and practices which get you from a low state of mind to a higher state of mind. That's one way of looking at it. And the kind of practice, the meditation practice that goes with that, has those kind of qualities. There are different practices for different times. In the Zen tradition, it's more like you're already at the top, but you don't realize it. So you have to wake up to that. So you meditate to wake up. So you meditate as if you are already awakened. So the practice is very simple. It's a bit like being thrown in the deep end of a swimming pool and told to stop thrashing around and you'll float. The other practice is, here's the swimming pool, here's the water, we're going to proceed slowly to the deep end. They both take equally as long, because with the Zen approach of being thrown in at the deep end, literally, you spend quite a lot of time thrashing about, wondering, was that meditation, that good meditation, did I do it, should I do it better next time, I really don't think this is meditation at all, I don't know what to, all this stuff. Eventually you stop wittering onto yourself and you just sit there, because that's all it is, just sitting, being there, present. I got a cartoon in the place where I practice, which shows a rather ancient, crusty-looking monk and a rather young one, and underneath it says, nothing happens next, this is it. And it's like you just sit there in a kind of bright, aware way, and just be, and that's it. And that has a profound effect on your life. It basically means you're easier to live with at that level. And it means you're also not so caught up with stuff. I mean, meditation is a bit like going to a meditation hall, is a bit like a gym. You go to a gym to get fit and strong. You do circuit training and all this kind of thing. In a meditation hall, you sit there in order to practice letting things fall away. Get good at letting things drop off, fall away. So letting the obsessive thoughts of your own mind drop, fall away, dissolve, and reveal what's your true nature, which is already there. It's already there, bright, but we just obscure it all the time. It's a bit like one of those little things you get at Christmas time. There's no snowstorms with the snowflakes obscuring the little image, and we're constantly shaking our little snowstorm. And where's the image? Where's the image? I can't see it. And if you just put it down, those things settle very fast, and you see the image immediately. But just putting it down is the most difficult thing. So you practice meditation in order to let things fall away, let things dissolve, and allow your true Buddha nature to show more clearly. It always does go on about suffering, but that's because that's the First Noble Truth. And quite often when people hear the people going on about suffering, they turn off. And there are another three that follow. And the second one is that the suffering and all this kind of pain, unease, stress has a cause, and that's all to do with cause and effect. And we're kind of a bit not very good at seeing what that is. I mean, the basis of all the soap operas is that no one tells each other the truth, because if you tell each other the truth, there'd be a big row. And so people don't tell each other the truth, and so there's a big row. So it's self-perpetuating, but you don't see that by not telling each other the truth, you actually create a row. So there's a bit that's hidden. So Buddhism points out how you create the sense of unease, unsatisfactionness and stress. So first of all, it points to the cause of it. And then the other two, which is the other half of the equation, is that it doesn't have to be like that. There's liberation from greed, anger, confusion, stress, unease and all the rest of it. Liberation, very important. It doesn't have to be like that. So it's not pessimistic at all, it's quite optimistic. Because another thing that Buddhism is very clear on is that everything changes. So that means you can change. You can change you. You're in charge of you, you can change you. So you are able to change your state of mind. And in order to do that, you need to practice, which is the fourth truth. And there are kind of 8 areas of practice which you practice in order to do something about this cause of suffering and change it. And the way that you practice is through things like thinking. You can change the way you think, your thought patterns. You can change the way you speak, because speech is really quite tricky. As soon as you've said it, it's too late. Like saying this video, I'm going to regret it. You can speak in the right way. You can earn your living. Everyone's got to have a shelter. They've got to have a place where they live, how they get their food, how they survive in some way. So how you earn your living is quite important. It affects everyone else. So you can do that in a right kind of way. If you do that in a right kind of way, you don't get so stressed. So it's an answer to this kind of pessimistic business, how to deal with it. How you act can have an effect. Your actions have an effect on how you behave. What happens to other people comes back at you, comes back at the rest of society. The thing which creates all of this is your state of mind. So if you're aware of that through mindfulness and awareness, and through meditation, you're able to drop it, let it go, let it fall away. You can change your habitual patterns of mind which cause all this bother in the first place. And in order to do that, you need a great load of effort, which is all part of it as well. You need quite a lot of effort to change your state of mind. And in doing that, your understanding changes, so that you understand things in a much more clear way. So these kind of 8 areas are something which help you not be so pessimistic and weighed down by suffering.